How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast. A happy one. Finally, we've been in some rough form. There was a winter break, but we finally bounced back with a nice, healthy win. So we're going to go through all of that, delve into the goals. It's 5-0 Crystal Palace. Before we touch in on Nottingham Forest, I know it's very early. We're not playing this weekend, knocked out of the FA Cup. But we always tend to, have a look at the upcoming fixture. And we're going to do that today, but we're going to focus on the Crystal Palace result. And the regulars are back in the building. All of the regulars back in the building. Jordan, James, and Lee, welcome back from Thailand.
Sorry about that. But I've had a little blank out light. Now, did you see that everything just flashed there or not?
No.
Very weird.
We're losing Lee Judges, people. We're losing him.
That was very, very freaky, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I thought someone had come in the house, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like being on my own in the dark. I don't like it.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. You're good.
But yes, Thailand was very, very good, apart from the birds chirping and all that, like, which I got a rollicking for. I got a point deducted. Other than that,
did you?
It was
not
for
the birds.
Not for the birds. Don't try.
No, not for the birds. Just for just for you three being mean, like But I thought, what did I do? I thought, in protest, shall I watch the next podcast? But I did, and I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, very good. Very good podcast. Yeah. I can see why everybody likes the show, and it was very, very good. I thought all of you got on really well. There was some good chemistry. And some interesting conversation. I like the conversation as well. As I spoke to James about it on Saturday, there was some good conversations there. And silly bollocks up there, like going to the draw, typical. You know what I mean? We knew that weren't going to happen. So no wonder he's bottom of the league. I'll tell you, And put it this way: if it weren't for points adrift, if it weren't for points taken away from certainly me and Turkish, you'd be adrift. I'll tell you, you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
You would be
Titanic, you are.
I'm just here for the bands, Lee.
I'm just here for the bands. Deducted 1 point. Me and Lee have probably had about 8 points between us deducted.
Oh no, yeah. And he had the front to turn around and go, he had the front to say, I don't know how you can predict this result and all that. And you had to put him up and say, that's why you're bottom. You had me clapping on the plane, that did.
No, because you raised a good point. Let's actually start with Jordan today, because I rewatched the episode as well.
What did I do?
When we all predicted wins, Jordan turned around and said, how are you lot all predicting wins? Tell me how you're all predicting wins. It's based off of hope. I'm trying to keep it real. And he went 0-0.
Also, just before Jordan comes in on that, right? I actually kind of understood the logic of why are we all so confident. But if you flip that same thinking to Palace, they're in terrible form. There's a Palace fan somewhere going, how on what planet do you see us getting a draw there? So I
mean, to be fair, Fulham weren't exactly ripping up trees.
No, but they're decent side away from home. I got your point, but I also didn't realize until in that match watching Palace and then all the aftermath realizing what a mess they're in. So I'm glad we did our job, but yeah.
But nobody still gave me an actual reason why they thought we're going to win that game beyond we've got to win. We need to win.
I said
that's not a reason.
Team. I said because we're a better team than them.
But we're a better team than Fulham.
Yeah, but
and a better team than West Ham.
Law of averages, you play more games as the better team, you're probably going to win.
Is that a reason?
Yeah.
Probability?
Yeah, that's how football works. We're better than them, so I expect to win.
He's still arguing it. Jordan, it's over. It's 5-0. It's 5-0.
Yeah.
He's saying, but why did you?
I don't know. I have to explain that I thought we'd beat.
All right. So if it had been 0-0, would you have been shocked?
Yeah.
I'd have been really disappointed.
0-0 at home to Palace. What?
We just got slapped by West Ham, Fulham, and Liverpool. Why would a 0-0? Why would another bad result shock you?
Because, I lean back to what James is saying. I mean, you playing you if you play 10 teams, you're better than 10 times. Once each 10 times. You're 8 of them, 7 of them at the very least.
Yeah, I guess.
By the way, just changing the subject quickly. How mad did you go when Gabriel Martinelli got that fourth goal? Because I was going crazy.
me?
Lee, you have no idea.
Going
You have
crazy.
no idea, Lee. You have no idea.
When it went 3-0, I went. But then when that third one in, I went mad. People around me going, "What's possessed this man like?"
You have money on it?
Hand on heart, right? I was on the watch on with Turkish, and the Martinelli goals were the goals I celebrated the most because they were just really good goals. I was really happy for him. And I forgot that I went 3-0 because then Turkish turned to me and went, "Did you go 4-0? Because I looked so happy." I was like, "No, I went 3." And then I looked today, and the goals were in the 94th and 95th. Like, there was no need for them, Gabby. So I was very happy for him. But I mean, I should be sailing ahead right now, but it's fine.
That's true, and that's why I'm glad that they went in as well. To be honest, I'm happy for Martinelli first and foremost. Actually, rather than start with Martinelli, I think it's better to probably go into Martinelli because he scored the last 2 goals. Obviously, set pieces got us on the way. On one hand, we could probably discuss the first 45, first 60, and talk about still maybe a lack of creating good enough chances, maybe a lack of fluidity, maybe not good enough overall, even being 2-0 up at the time. But rather than that, because we have kind of spoken about that a hell of a lot, I'm not saying don't touch in on it, but set pieces has become a thing at Arsenal right now. I mean, we scored the most set piece goals in the league. Often we moan about corner takers and often we moan about set piece takers, and Trossard, Saka, Martinelli are not good enough, not beating the first man. We've got the most goals from set pieces this year, and I'm sure it must be by design when you look at some of the players brought in by Mikel.
Can I pick up on that, Turkish? Because I think 2 things can be true at once. I think it's factually correct that Arsenal have scored the most amount of goals from set pieces, which is brilliant. But we've also this season had some of the worst corners I've seen in the Premier League this season. Martinelli, Saka, Trossard, Odegaard slightly less so. I've seen some shocking free kicks and corners from Arsenal this season. So it's really, really interesting that we have scored the most amount of goals from set pieces. Is it set pieces or is it corners? Is it overall set pieces?
I think set pieces because
Set
I mean, you think
pieces.
the Gabriel one at Anfield was a free kick.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
But equally, the last 10 games in particular, I can't believe what I've been seeing in terms of the quality of our set pieces. So, 2 things can be true at the same time. Just because we're winning that particular race, that doesn't mean the quality of our set pieces has been particularly good over the season so far.
Well, I think there's evidence that our criticisms were fair because Rice took that corner for Gabriel's first goal. So they've mixed something up there. Rice wasn't taking them before. And also they were targeting in swingers to the back post more so than the flick-ons at the near post. So it's funny because it's the kind of thing that happens in a game of football and people want to throw it at you saying, "See, you're being critical." And actually, it's like, well, yeah, but I'm also seeing Arsenal change something and it's led to 2 goals. But, Nicolas Jova is, since arriving at the club maybe 2-3 years ago, he's doing his thing. Like, we've been largely good at attacking and defending set pieces. But I agree with Jordan, in the last month or 2, you think of the Luton goals we conceded, and some of the poor corners, we've not been as good at them, but they've fixed that in a game. So that's good.
They've also arguably held our season up to this point. If you look at how many goals you scored from open play in comparison to the rest of the league, off the top of my head, I'm sure, well, definitely before the game against Palace, the open play goals, I think we was in the bottom half of the league.
We were 13th, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where we've gone now with 3 more from open play, but it was just so refreshing to see off the back of it. But the set pieces, I'm with you guys. There's been many a corner that I've looked at and said, too short, first man, very poor. And Jordan's probably right in assessing it by some of the worst corners we've seen. But the fact that we've got so many goals from it, the fact that that's a big part of why we are where we are this season. If only we could have found that click on the pitch from open play. That imagine we coupled up our goals from open play last season with our set pieces from this season, would be a monster all round.
But just before Lee comes in, Turkish, but then I think that's where Arteta deserves a little bit of credit, because he's recognised that pre-Palace, pre the Dubai trip, we're clearly a threat from set pieces, right? So he's recognised, well, if we can maybe improve on our set pieces, there's goals that we can score from set pieces. So let's spend a bit of time working out how we can do that and build upon that for sure. And I remember Sam Allardyce saying once, years ago, there was some data around, if you're a top team, roughly how many corners and free kicks in the opposition's half you will have, and how many goal chances you can create from set piece and free kicks. So he spent a lot of time when he was at Bolton, it was really working on set pieces, because he did the data that said you can increase your goal output by X amount, I forgot the number, but X amount of percentage by taking free kicks and corners seriously. And it looks like Arteta's realised we're quite good from corners and free kicks. Let's just improve on that, and we can score some more goals. And then look what happened.
Yeah,
Got to be able to score. That's a great point. I think why do teams like Bolton back in the day take a lot more time and preparation doing free kicks and things like that, like, because they knew they had a chance of maybe nicking games and all that. But if you're a very, very good team and you can add that feather to your bow, like, it makes it so much better for us. And listen, I know, like, we're mucking about, going about, but Jordan went 0-0. If it weren't for those two set pieces, it would have been 0-0 at half time, and it would have been a different sort of atmosphere going into the second half, because the platform was set for those two goals in the first half for us to go and be as open as we could in the second. I thought we played some good stuff in the first half as well. There's some good intricate play that we done, but ultimately we didn't really open them up that much, and it was for those set pieces. And I think, really, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first goal in the first 10, 12 minutes I can remember for a very, very long while in the season, like we scored early. And, from a set piece. And we looked dangerous on them all the way through. And I'll tell you one thing is that, probably Roy Hodgson would be really peeved with, and I said it at half time, I bet he's spewing about it, was that, they set up all this play to stop the Arsenal playing and working all that, and the set pieces is undone them, which is a nightmare for the opposition manager, So I think that was one thing. Do you know we were talking about when we changed? We were saying about, you can forgive them going to Dubai and everything if they get things right and whatever. We were talking about it on the Starting 11 show. I have to say that, they've gone to Dubai and they've worked on things like that. They've had to stand around in the sun, instead of standing around in the cold, and they've worked on that. And they've got the reward for it. So you think to yourself, yeah, fair play to you. I'm glad you've gone away and sorted that out. And I thought that was, one pleasing aspect of the game. And I think that, I don't think it was a fantastic performance by any stretch of the imagination. But, to get those two goals from set pieces and look dangerous, it's about time. And very, very interesting that Declan Rice took one. Hopefully it wasn't the one that aggravated his hamstring injury, because I don't want him taking corners again if it is. But it was interesting that they've had a little chat about that and said, look, we need someone who's going to put it on from the right. Declan Rice, I thought the two deliveries were fantastic. And I think there was one before that when I think, or in between that, when Gabriel put it wide, which was another good delivery in. So all in all, fair play to that. And I think that set pieces, fine margins in games of football these days. I think there's lots of good teams out there. If you can, you win that game on a set piece, fantastic.
I liken it, and it's not a direct comparison. I know, like your Tennis League, Australian Open and all. I liken it a bit to an ace. Now, it's not the same because aces happen, 20 times a game, but that bails you out. Like it's something you can do whether you're playing well or not. You can just to get a few cheap points. You can get a cheap goal. You get that one action right, which you've got time to set up for, prepare for. Doesn't matter how the momentum's going in the game. If you get that opportunity via a free kick or a corner or even a throw-in, we see sometimes, then it can bail you out. And it was good to see that from Arsenal. And it was also good to see us scoring different types of goals. Once we got that second, we started scoring goals on the counter attack, and that was great to see because
Yeah.
speaking to Palace fans, I know you did as well on box to box Turkish, like.
Yeah.
Their defensive shape isn't bad. They are still a difficult team to play through. Back five, midfield four, nice and condensed. So, okay, with the long quest for fluidity this season, sometimes we've discovered it, sometimes we haven't. But my question is, well, can you do the other things? Can you counter-attack well when they actually do come towards you and attack that open space? Can you score set piece goals? Man City over the years, who obviously renowned for the Guardiola beautiful football, how many times have they just whipped a ball to the back post for someone to get their head on it? How many times has Gundogan or Rodri just slapped one in from outside the box? Like Kevin De Bruyne as well. You got to have those like bailout moments, and it's good that Arsenal have developed a little bit of that in the last. I'd say last season as well. In the last 2 seasons, we've developed that, which is good.
Yeah, 100%. Lee, what was the atmosphere like? Because you mentioned that if it did go in 0-0 at half time, on the watch along, someone mentioned to James, I think in the live chat, that it was quiet again by their standards. What did you feel?
I've got to say, it was. I don't know the answer to it. Talking about it on my channel earlier on today, like, what it is. I think maybe, we're trying to force it a little bit, to make an atmosphere. I think where it was like organic, it just happened like last season. I think we're trying to force maybe it happening. I don't know. I have to say that, it's a 12:30 kickoff. And I'm going to say it now, as I said on my show earlier on, 5 minutes from the end, there's a lot of empty seats around the game. You're 3-0 up. Like, can't you stay to the end when you're 3-0 up? If you can't stay to the end, why can't you? And then when you go off early, you're only standing in a queue in a station. So I don't really get why going early. Someone explain it to me why you want to go early. You're spending all that money, and I know you don't win often 3-0 up on a lot of, it doesn't happen often. It's not so I don't see why the fans can't enjoy it. And watching the players go around at the end of the day, they're clapping to a lot of empty seats. I didn't see that so much last season. I can't remember what game it was, but quite a few games, to be fair. Everybody was staying to the end, and the players had gone into the tunnel, and there was still a hefty crowd left. But by the time you go to a toilet and come back out, the stadium's empty now. Like, there's not people hanging around no more like it was last season. I know everything was like fantastic, the results, performances, and everything like that. It was a buzz, but I do also think that they're trying to force an atmosphere. If you know what I mean. Like, I can't put my finger on it. I know people go on about tickets Turkish, different people and all that. Like, but if you was a fan, and I spoke to a few fans that it was their first game and all that, and they was all excited. And so if that was your first game, you wouldn't not go in there and not sing, would you? I don't think so. You'd be excited about it. So I can't really put my finger on why, but if it was a 12:30 kickoff, you know what I mean? Like, if you not the people don't go down the pub so much, to let themselves loose or whatever. I don't really know. I can't explain why, but it's not because it's the different times, because it's been happening quite a lot this season. I thought it was very, very flat all the way through, and at half time, people like coming back in a little bit 5 minutes later. I noticed, I'm one of them normally, like, trying to get me free drinks, trying to get me whatever, like, but I just felt that sometimes you probably need the team and all that, like, but we've had some good atmospheres this season. Man City, Man United, by the way, were fantastic atmospheres. So I can't put my finger on it. And
the Champions League been good?
Say again?
Has the Champions League been good?
First one was good.
Yeah.
First one was good. But like, when everybody's buzzing around, and like, listen, we've had some brilliant results in there and played really, really well in the Champions League. But I think Turkish said it once before, like, expectation has maybe changed people's thing about it, where I think it was just go there and enjoy it last season and whatever. And I was much like that, like, go there last season, just enjoy the game, whatever comes out, whatever. Where this season, I'm thinking, being a little bit more, right, we've got to win this game. And even yesterday, like, saying to yourself, well, we've got to win the game Doesn't matter if it's 1-0, it's just about winning it. We must win game. So I do think that the fans have just changed a little bit, expectations and all that. But listen, if someone can tell me the reason, they're a bigger person than me.
It might be totally driven by the football we're playing. Now, I'm not saying we're playing bad football, but last season we were so electric. Like some of the best football I've seen at the Emirates. It was really good. Goals from everywhere. Jesus was just street footballer. So exciting. Our wingers were so unpredictable, inside, outside, whatever it was. Erdegaard was balling out. The midfield was on point. Saliba, we were seeing this guy who we'd had so much anticipation for 3 years. And Chenko was playing this kind of new role we'd never seen at the carpet before. And everything just felt so fresh and exciting and new. And this season, I don't know a game this year where we've got back to last season's level. I don't know if we've had that game. We've had some as good performances in a different way. We've had other things that I've been really encouraged by. But, maybe it's just that. Maybe there's just it's all been dialed down slightly. And that's part of Arteta's design, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? Like, I'm going to be really honest. I didn't hear the Super Mikel song once. That was one that, whether you like the song or not, everybody's singing it, and it was a great atmosphere when it was there. I haven't seen Arteta engaging with the crowd like he has done last season as much. So I don't know whether it's the intensity of the games or whatever. I don't know, but it's certainly not the same, like party atmosphere in the stadium. I think like the game was, if you get there early, you got like a free drink and a pie and all that. Like, so it's encouraging you to get there early. Like last season, it was like a half price drink or something to encourage people to get there early. But
is that just for Diamond Club or is it for regular fans as well?
Say that again.
Is that just for Diamond Club or is it for?
No, that was for the
the what, Lee? The what?
For every fan. For every fan, like, wherever you was in the stadium, there you go. Like, don't try and kill me, Kirk. I know where you're going with that, but no, so that was, I don't really know. Like that song, I haven't heard that song. That was a song that used to really go, and it used to go around the whole stadium.
It's because people are asking questions. Like, I think there's
doubt.
Yeah, and it's not I think people are asking questions about Mikel Arteta, and so when there's not that same like total love in, I think we're going to talk about some really good performances. I'm going to put David Raya in that bracket, but there are questions over the Raya signing, and Ramsdale was a fan favourite. There are questions over Havertz because now Smith Rowe is missing out. So the fans are still like understanding whether we're coming and going with this. Like, it might sound like I'm making an excuse for the fans. I'm not trying to. I'm just, I think the way the last 6-7 months have gone has just kind of left the fans a little apprehensive. And so you're not seeing that total unconditional love like thrown at the players in terms of atmosphere and support on a match day. I'm not saying that's right. I just think that's why it might be.
He'll come back. Win a couple of games and he'll be back.
Yeah, well, the Champions League home game, Porto will be massive, I think. We've got Liverpool in a couple of weeks. I think they'll all be big.
I will say this, and while on holiday, I was, like reading a lot of things as you do, and I couldn't believe that there was a lot of people, a lot of fans saying Mikel out and wanting a change and all that, like, which I find very, very strange at this moment in time, like, and so maybe like that, there, you're right that, I think that everybody's got the right to question him and whatever, and I think that, I know a few staunch Mikel Arteta fans have said like, or a few of the decisions that they have questioned over the last few games and all that, like, so maybe that's what's happening. But I tend to think that a lot of the Mikel outfit, I haven't really seen it at the games, particularly away from home. It's not been there, but I do think there's been a few funniest decisions made by him, and to get right behind him, but I still think that the majority of the fan base have got his back.
Yeah, I think
Can-
most.
Can I just talk about just a couple of comments on the actual game itself? I'll start with positive. I got my clean sheet. No dirty sheets out here, so that was a good one. I've not been impressed with our record at the Emirates in terms of clean sheets. We got that. Happy days.
So
But
why
is it
did you
okay
pick the clean sheet?
for us?
Yeah,
Because I just didn't think Palace would necessarily have the firepower.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
It's just-
Man. Jamie, are you wrong?
We've just conceded in 3 games in a row. So what would make you think we'd get a clean sheet?
Well, the difference is Fulham, Liverpool, and West Ham have attackers that I think are on form. Palace don't.
Raul Jimenez. Yeah, fair enough.
He's on a decent run. Anyway.
He might be. Carry on.
Exactly. So
Carry
just hold that in your pipe. Don't try it. But is it okay for me to say, and if I'm talking rubbish, please tell me. I often do, that we won 5-0, but I didn't think the performance overall was particularly great. I mean, up until 3-0, I was ready to really not go in, because you can't go in on a team that wins 3-0. But the 2 goals in injury time, I think, made it kind of took the shine away from the fact that it wasn't a great performance, despite it was a great scoreline. I thought we created so many chances to score so many goals before we got to the 90 minutes. Within the 2 final goals were just about Palace losing shape and us just breaking away. But in the 90 minutes, I thought we had so many chances to score so many goals. And look, you're not going to score all your chances, of course. But I thought that Lee mentioned that we played well in the first half. I think we played well out the back. I thought some of our press break was absolutely phenomenal. But when we got to the midfield, I just think that we didn't play very, very well. And I think that the fact that we got 2 set-piece goals, I'm kind of repeating a point made earlier on, there's still question marks about our open play attack. I don't think we're playing that particularly well. And it sounds really dumb saying off the back of a 5-0 win. But 2 goals were on the counter and 2 goals were set pieces. So I think despite the scoreline looking emphatic, there were so many chances where I still think we're making the wrong decisions. The midfield is still too slow for me. It's way too slow in the middle of the park for me. So I think that might sound a bit crazy to people, but that was my interpretation of the game. And a couple of players that I think we've given a lot of heat to, which I think it's only fair to kind of to credit, what I have anyway. Zinchenko gave the ball away. I think the first half, I thought it was a really poor misplaced pass. But apart from that, I'm not a Zinchenko fan. But apart from that, I thought he was really good on Saturday. And David Raya, as James mentioned, he didn't have to do anything particularly spectacular or amazing. But that's kind of a good goalkeeper to me. You make everything look simple, handle the basics. Let's get the hell out of here. So I just thought those 2 players in particular deserved a bit of a shout out, because I've been hard on Zinchenko and I thought he was good. Havertz, we might get to him later on. It's a problem for me now. It's becoming a real big issue.
Go on, Turkish. I want to get your thoughts, because I think what Jordan's saying there is, I think it's fair. Not that it's so hard, because the words people will take in different ways. Saying, and tell me if I'm wrong, Jordan, but you're not saying it was a bad performance. You're just saying it wasn't great. And normally 5-0 equals a great performance. And I actually agree. I thought it was a good performance. I just thought all round it was good. Like a load of different goals, comfortable throughout. That was the word I kept using all watching on. Comfortable. And a lot of people didn't want to really agree, because football can just flip on its head like that. Something can happen, as they can smack one in from 30 yards and suddenly it's 2-1. But I felt Arsenal were comfortable all day, and it was as good a return as I could have hoped for, because I also didn't think we were going to come back scintillating, but I also wouldn't have liked any less than what we got, if that makes sense. But I know, Tex, you're kind of alluding to a similar thing on the watch log.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time I've said it this season. I think there's I'll raise points about fluidity, chance creation, the eye tests many times in the first 18, 19 games, but we was top. So, in the end, that's just a park off my concerns. But I'm completely with Jordan. I was going to say the same thing. 60 minutes in, I'm looking at it thinking, have we really performed well enough off the back of the 2-week break? Rejuvenation, talking to all of the good stuff we're hearing. Is this the performance to say, all right, we have turned the corner? I still don't think that. I still don't think this is the performance to say we've turned the corner, because Palace in the end lied down for us. And to be honest, even when they wasn't lying down, standing up, they wasn't much taller. So it was a very good game to come back to. But there are concerns there. I said it after 4-0 Bournemouth. I think I said it after 5-0 Sheffield United. Yeah, they're hefty scorelines, but Bournemouth, 2 penalties, kind of a fluke goal with Saka, Jesus off the pole. The scoreline, when you look at it, reflects like you've had an amazing performance, similar to the 5-0 game. I don't think it was an amazing performance. I think it was a good performance, but a good performance that yields a 5-0 result bodes well if you do turn a corner now. If you do turn a corner and go put Nottingham Forest to the sword and score goals against them, and don't make hard work of it, then I can say we've turned the corner. Now I feel like it was the perfect game, perfect opposition at the right time, at home, and essentially everything fell into place, including the 2 set pieces in the first half. Because listen, set pieces are work done a hell of a lot, but there's also an element of luck involved in every set piece too. And I feel like we needed those set pieces. Otherwise, I'm with Lee, what he said earlier. If we didn't have those 2 set pieces, we go into halftime 0-0. That game's a lot closer to a 1-1, 2-1, 1-0 victory than it is a 5-0. So for me, the set piece is set pace. And then eventually we did what we should have done, I think, straight after the third goal. Straight after the third goal, I expected 4, I expected 5. Come 80, 85 minutes, game saw off. Instead, we labored towards the 90-minute mark. We didn't really create much. How many great saves have you seen keepers make against Arsenal this season? Not just this game. How many great saves have you seen keepers make against Arsenal this season? Not many. So yes, our strikers are a problem and our finishing has been a problem, but high quality chance creation, in my opinion, has also been a problem. Now, Martinelli's 2 goals, that's high quality chances. Trossard, high quality chance. It's nice to see us counterattack. It's refreshing to see that. But there is still an issue there, in my opinion. There is an issue that I'm going to bring it back to number 29, and I'm going to say, when Emile Smith-Rowe came on for those minutes that he took, I don't know off the top of my head how much it was, he didn't do nothing amazing. He wasn't out of this world. I probably wouldn't rate him any more than a 6 out of 10. 6. And that's probably me being nice. It was probably more 5.5, 5.
I agree.
But guess what? I saw a midfielder that wants the ball. I saw a midfielder that had some energy. I saw a midfielder that was ready to pass, ready to move. I saw a midfielder that had a bit about him on the pitch. Again, I reiterate, it wasn't no more than a 5, 6 out of 10 performance off the bench. But those are things that I haven't seen from our number 29 in that position. So I think Emile Smith-Rowe will be a key part of potentially turning the corner now in the midfield.
I'm going to be really honest about this. I watched Havertz. I didn't think he had a bad game. Did he? I just think
he didn't do anything, Lee.
That's the problem. He
just done everything. He just done everything basically okay. You know what I mean? Like there was a
5 out of 10.
There's a couple of times where the ball was drilled into him. He cushioned the pass, which isn't easy to do, and kept the ball moving. I just think played very, very safe. Now,
too safe.
What I say about that is when you play very, very safe, you've done everything okay. I'm not having a go at him when I say that, but I think that you want a little bit more from a player when you're spending that sort of money. And as I said before, especially when you're spending that sort of money on a player where you could have probably spent it somewhere else, and you've got players that could do just the same sort of job. That's the problem that I've got, because when Smith-Rowe come on, I didn't see no improvement, didn't see no downward step neither. Like, do you know what I mean? So could Smith-Rowe have doing what? Could Smith, say for instance, Smith-Rowe or Vieira come into that role and just play safe and be okay? I think they could. And then, like, you look at it and you go and spend that money on a striker, and all of a sudden banging in like 15, 20 goals, everybody's going, what? We've done really, really well there. And that's the way I think the question marks are over the match. Did we really need to spend all that money on Havertz? Well, I'm not having a go at Havertz, because I quite like him as a player. Like, I like things that he does in midfield at times. But what I'm saying is,
you're a fucking liar.
No, I'm not. I do like.
What do you like in midfield that he does?
I like his shithousery at times. I do like that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I
well,
like
reaching.
the way he puts himself about and all that. Like, you know, I think that he's. I do see that. I do see a good footballer in there. I do. But I'm not saying that he's a good footballer for Arsenal or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But if I'm being really honest, I'm saying to myself, and I'll say it to Mikel or whoever, like, you know what I mean? I think that we should have spent the money somewhere else. I don't think we needed it on that. That's my beef.
The problem we've got is that we're carrying him. And when you're trying to catch Manchester City, you're trying to be almost perfect, which we all kind of acknowledge we need to be to catch this City team. You can't carry anybody. You can't carry anyone. We're carrying him, but it's 10 players plus Havertz. And that's just not cool. It's really not cool. Now, look, the other problem we have is that no one else is really banging the door down to replace him. Let's be real. Let's be really honest. There's no one on the bench you're thinking Havertz is keeping him out. But as Lee said, when you spend 65 million on a midfielder, go on.
Jorginho. And I'm hoping I'm taking this into some positives now, because we did win 5-0, everyone. But
So who's your three, James? Sorry, who'd be your
I'd
three?
move Rice to the 8. I would get Rice in that box-to-box role that Havertz is in, / what Xhaka was doing last season. I thought Jorginho's cameo was really good.
It was.
Really good. Was so technically sound, was picking passes to players in behind, gets the assist for Martinelli second. And when he came on, I was worried we'd lost a little bit of dynamism in midfield, but it didn't matter because we had the ball the whole time. Like, Jorginho's really won me over in the last year, and it's not winning me over like, and it's not Italian tax. It's not. I don't mean winning me over like perfect. We've got our DM sorted. That's great.
He didn't win you over when he won the Euros for your country, no?
Right. He was very good that tournament. No, I just mean when we signed him, there are a lot of question marks. Another former Chelsea player. He's been one of the better, if not the best, of these recent signings we've made from Chelsea. Like, for £12 million, he's come in, and he's the sixth. He's the third choice, number 6. And if that error against Tottenham, if he didn't make that error, I believe we win that game. But also, no one would have anything to throw against him. Villa Park away, he's done it. St James's Park away, he's done it. At home against Man City, big game, he's done it. Like, he's been delivering. And I thought he came on, was great again. And, you know, I don't want to shit on Havertz too much because we won 5-0. But I didn't think he did anywhere near enough again in this game. But for me, that balance is there with Jorginho in there. Let Rice just flex a little bit. He's got such great ball carrying ability. He's got real power. Let him get forward a little bit more. And I think that'll be a good balance till Partey comes back.
Do you know what, James, right? And this is true. I look at Jorginho, right? And I try and I'm trying to learn off him a little bit because he's a player now. When I play like my football now, veteran, I'm one of the older guys. I ain't got the legs like I used to have and all that. Like, and I watch him, and he hasn't got the legs, and I just watch him to see what he actually does, and he dictates a lot with his mouth, talks, you know, tells people where to go and all that. I like that sort of thing, and I was very intrigued to see how he goes about going into a game when the game's a little bit open, but, you know, he hasn't got the legs to chase around and all that. And what he does, he just gets the ball, passes it and moves. Just does it. Everything very, very simple. Now, what I say about that is it's good to watch, but really, if you're going for a title, you want something a little bit more than that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just to start. That's not being critical of him. We need something a little bit more. But I think in games like that, when things are a little bit tight, I like the way he tries to pick pockets. And a fantastic pass, by the way, from Martinelli.
Nice.
You know,
He's done that a few times. Do you remember the Sporting
game in the Champions League game? If I remember right, remember when he pinged one through. He's got an eye for a pass, but he knows when to make that pass. You know what I mean? Like, he'll play short, and then he'll put it in. Like, you know, he's a very, very, very intelligent footballer. I've got to say that. Very, very. If you watch him, like, you know, but I do believe, you know, that if we're going to go on and win big things, you know, he's not the answer to start games, but I do believe he's got a role to play in this squad. I like the way you probably don't notice it on TV when he's doing his warm up and he's coaching on the side, you know, and telling people what to do. I like that. You know what I mean? It's someone in the dressing room that has been there and done it, and you know that it tells you a lot when you've been a player. And we've probably all been there at some stage when you're a regular. All of a sudden, you become a squad player, and mentally, it's a different game to what you're doing there. And he took to that to duck to water. He knows he's not going to get as much minutes as probably he feels he deserves, but he's still contributing, whether he's starting or not.
He's got a slightly Fabregas vibe about him as well. There's a bit of a Fabregas kind of. He knows when to make the right pass. He can execute the right pass. Maybe a little bit deeper than Fabregas, but I kind of, when I see him play, I kind of think of someone like him. I just wanted to make a point on the attack, unless anyone has got any more points to make on Jorginho.
I just want to say, James is right. He's definitely our best Chelsea signing, but you know, looking at the
he's
Chelsea
our only good one.
Yeah, he came in as. I mean, overall, I mean, my question this season was why give El Nene a new contract when, in my opinion, I think Jorginho as an upgrade on an El Nene, a third choice centre mid, number 6. More than happy about that. Overall, I've never been Jorginho's biggest fan, but I think he can do a job. He can do a job for us. If we are to keep a midfielder this summer, as in El Nene or Jorginho wins that. Even though I like El Nene in terms of character, and you know he's kept his head down here quite often, but
it's time to go.
But Jorginho's a manager in the making, and I feel like he's a better leader behind the scenes, someone that can help guide a bit more, someone that the young players can lean on. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the best credit I can give Jorginho, because as a player, I've never been fully impressed with him. I think he does a job in a system, yes, but yeah.
But has he impressed you more at Arsenal than he did at Chelsea? I know that sounds crazy because he won the Champions League at Chelsea, and but overall he's kind of reflected on not that favourably. Like Chelsea fans weren't bothered that they were losing him. A lot of them, some were. Credit, some were like, no, you don't realize his importance, and some have learned that. But watching him at Arsenal, I was like, I didn't see a player this good at Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying he's been stellar. I'm not saying he's been brilliant, but I've definitely seen performances that I'm like, no, you're more than holding your own in a team that's supposedly going for the title. And I didn't really see that at Chelsea.
He was brilliant in the Sarri season because Sarri had him at Napoli, so he knew how to use him. He was very good that season.
And Tuchel got a lot out of him with Kante in that.
He did.
I'm not saying he did well there.
Arsenal a hell of a lot more. Don't forget he finished top 3 in Ballon d'Or as well, which, listen, I don't think he really deserved, but other people must have been seeing something in him for him to be even in contention.
Well, James is saying he's been convinced and took one around. I was always a Jorginho fan, even when we signed him, because I kind of knew him for what he is. I just thought if you used him properly in the right system, he can flourish. If you put him in the wrong system, he looks really, really, really poor. Because as he said, he's got no legs. So if you make him run and have to the hustle and bustle, you're not gonna get the best out of him. But he's very intelligent. I just want to make a quick point on our attack. Just kind of going back to the fact that I'm still not convinced yet by our attack. I thought Gabriel Jesus was bang average again. I thought he was really, really average on the weekend. Saka I thought was okay. I know Martinelli came on and scored 2 goals, but I thought Trossard was okay as well. I've just seen the Liverpool game earlier on. They've won 4-0 at Bournemouth. I do not rate Darwin Núñez. I don't rate him at all. I think he's dog. I think he's really, really, really average. But the fact that they can have their best attacker out and their 2 other attackers can come in and score 2 goals away at Bournemouth and do a job, I think could be one of the big differences that people have spoken about all season in terms of firepower. They're missing their main goal outlet. And the guy that I don't rate at all has just comfortably banged in 2 goals against Bournemouth. Now, okay, some may say it's only Bournemouth. But the other day, people were raving about Bournemouth, saying Bournemouth could get 10th. So, there we go. There we go. There you go. So I'm just making the point that if our attack doesn't start fixing up, sorry, James, if our attack doesn't start fixing up and really getting this going, we're seeing our rivals firepower, flexing their muscles, even without their best player. No Haaland at City, no Salah at Liverpool, and those guys are still scoring goals.
This is why we got to be real about our players a little bit more, Jordan. And listen, you tend to be more on that side of, you know, being blunt and honest more than anything. But recently, I remember you saying, you know, you see something in Eddie, but then here you're saying Nunes is dog.
I mean,
Nunes,
that was a few months ago, to be fair.
Nunes compared to Eddie even a few months ago, different levels. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes at Arsenal, and I'm not just saying you. I mean, we've done it with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, we've done it with Bellerin, we've done it with Xhaka, we've done it with Ozil, we've done it with so many players where it's right in front of us. They're not good enough, or they're not good enough anymore, or they're not. But we just have some affinity towards some players, and we just ride it out till it's dead in the water. The reality is Nunes as a backup striker is up there with every backup striker in the league. That's our problem depth. When we need someone else to step up, if Jesus ain't playing well or if Saka ain't, we ain't got that. So as much as, you know, we're looking at Nunes, and Nunes ain't great for sure. And for 80 million overall, he's labeled.
He weren't bought out for a backup Turkish, was he? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? As great as Klopp is, and I'm a massive Klopp fan, he hasn't, you know, he's had his pants pulled down for a start on that, and he hasn't really improved him, if I'll be honest. He has set up, you know, I remember him coming on against Newcastle and changing the game up there, getting them some valuable points there. And I didn't see the game today, but he's obviously contributed today with a couple. You know, even Klopp, you know, can't get a tune out of him, like, you know. And listen, he's got a couple of goals today. Eddie's got got hat-trick against Sheffield United. You know what I mean?
He's quite good this season, to be fair. But
I think the difference is Nunes has got some big goals this season. He's not got a lot of goals, but he's got some important goals.
I think he's got attributes to be a really good player. I think, you know, he just hasn't put the ball in the back of the net. But, you know, I think with Liverpool, you when you lose your top player and all that, but they bring in Jota, you know what I mean, like at the end of it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, he was over £30 million to bring him into the team, to the squad, and he's one of those players that can really turn it on. And I think, you know, has proven at Wolves what a good player he was. But we haven't got that as a backup, you know what I mean? £30 million. We've got, you know, Eddie, and no disrespect to Eddie.
But Lee, sorry to cut you there, Lee, but my kind of point is that we haven't got the backup. Have we even got the first choice front line? I'm saying that Man City's first choice striker, Liverpool's first choice striker are both out, and they're still scoring goals. We have our first choice front line available, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, we had it out last year, and we did. You know what I mean? Like Jesus weren't playing last year, and we managed okay and all that. Like, so, you know, it's not the reason I think that we're not firing is because they've not been on form. You know, that's Martinelli's best performance all season. I think he scored more goals in 10 minutes and in 1 minute than he scored all season. I think he's only got 2 league goals, and I don't think he's been really at it that much this season. I don't think Saka's been at it this much. And I said this, and I'll say it again. I was talking about this yesterday. You know, Jesus, as good as he is, isn't at the levels he was last season before that injury. And I don't know if he ever will be as good as what he was. You know, I thought he played well yesterday, but he was offside a lot. You know, there was.
Isn't that refreshing though?
What, that he's
the guy's always so deep. He was up the pitch. Can I say I agree with the general point? But I think this Palace game was more Liverpool than we think. And what I mean by that is, like, we had some good chances, but actually, like I watched the Liverpool-Bournemouth game today. First half, they weren't very good, Liverpool. Bournemouth probably edged it, could have been behind Liverpool. And then second half, a moment of magic opens up the game. And I totally predict, I was on DR preview and I said, Bournemouth will play really well and Liverpool win 3-0. I was off by a goal. And Arsenal kind of did a similar thing where, like, we weren't scintillating against Palace, but wasn't it great that Trossard was just clinical? Like, put through on goal. He had 2 chances in that game. One where the ball's kind of looped over the top in the first half and he kind of lashed at it left foot. But he gets his second chance, sits down Klein, thrashes it. Nazari-esque finish into that, you know, inside netting. Great to see. Martinelli, that first goal he gets us 4-0 up. It's such a difficult finish, and he took it. And then he takes his second, which is our 5th, which is kind of, you don't think that's a difficult finish, that first Martinelli goal?
I think from there you have in my opinion, from there
You got to
you got to
score.
score. But the way he
Yeah.
finished it was beautiful.
It's a beautiful finish, but let's
I
not
thought he
pretend
made him
like
look easy. I thought he
Yeah,
made
yeah.
him look easy.
But
I
it's
think that's
not
the point
easy.
I'm
That's
making.
quite a
It
tight
was so
angle.
beautiful that it makes the finish look better than he's through on goal 1-on-1 with the keeper. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking put it in the net. But
Come
the
on.
finish makes it look like, that's beautiful.
yeah,
Like,
I
that
agree
finish
with
is
that on the
different.
second one. I think the first one is. I think the first one's a difficult finish because
Yeah, well, it's
because of
a
the angle.
fantastic finish from behind the goal. When you look at it, you know what I mean.
I'll look at them again, to be fair, but
No, they're
Henderson
beautiful.
makes it awkward with the
My point is,
angle.
like our forwards did what Liverpool forwards have been like. Look, I don't think at any point that's a lie. Let me take this back. I was about to say that I don't think at any point Liverpool have been scintillating this season. That's a lie. They have been. Newcastle, for example, blew them away 4-2. They won that. But there are times this season where I've not been overwhelmingly impressed by Liverpool in a game in which they scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
just
with you.
their strikers are very instinctive. They're very just efficient. Bam, long ball to Jones, touch into Jota, pass into Nunes, bang, back at the net. Like they made it look so easy. They weren't even playing that well that game, and it was nice that we did that. And you talk about the quality we have, but I think we've got. Listen, we need a 9. We need some backup for Saka. But I think we've got plenty of quality in our front line to be doing more than we have. Last season, we outscored the Invincibles. We've got 88 goals, the most we've scored in a league season. I think the question was, can Arteta get something else out of this team going forward this year and get Martinelli into those positions he was in? How many times have we seen that this season? Barely. I remember it once. I remember Vieira playing Martinelli behind against Everton, but there was that stupid offside. Do you remember that?
Yeah. He scored that. innit?
Eddie nonsense. Yeah, but he scored it. He scored one against Leicester where Trossard drifted left and rolled it into Martinelli, who's through on goal. And again, kind of had to lean back kind of side foot finish. So he's done that twice now in his Arsenal career. And like those, we will score more goals if we get Saka and Martinelli in that width of the penalty area. But we've had them so far out on the touchline.
Exactly.
It's nice that we did something different in this game.
I like to think that that's something they've worked on.
I think so. Yeah.
In Dubai, because I think that that's been a problem. I think that they have been too wide. And looking at it today, yesterday, I felt that Trossard got into goal scoring opportunities. He's very unlucky in the first half one. It went over the bar, but I think it actually deflected off the defender. Didn't get the goal kick. Didn't get the corner for it. I felt he got himself into some good positions like yesterday. And when have you actually seen? For a long time, that was a counter attack, and probably I have to say that Palace were poor. I've got to say that, but what a lovely build up and what a fantastic finish that was. Cut inside, smashed it in, we haven't seen those opportunities so much. And Martinelli going through on goal 1-on-1, it's sort of been out wide or being pushed wide by the defenders because of the starting position. Starting position yesterday was. Right, I'm going to go. But what was more important was when he went, guys, he got the ball. I've seen him do that 3 or 4 times, quite a lot, make the run and I'll go inside and we go down this route again. Like, I thought he was a little bit more direct with our play yesterday as well, which helps. The quicker you get the ball to Martinelli, the better chance he's going to isolate the fullback. And I felt that they'd done that, particularly in the second half. Maybe they were a little bit tired or they were just poor.
You were poor.
I think for the first time, I'm worried about not Jesus finishing, but the impact from these Jesus injuries. Because there was a couple moments in that game that I did, and I do want to move it on to Forest soon because we've just passed the 50-minute mark. But maybe you lot can. Did you see it? Did you not see it? But there was a few moments I looked at Jesus and I thought, yeah, them injuries have left their mark. And I think one of them was the assist for Trossard. I feel like old Jesus probably would have taken that on a little bit more, but it seemed like he was slowing down. I don't think he's got that. I think he wasn't the paciest forward of them all anyway, but I think he's lost the yard. I'm not. I think the knee injuries have taken its toll because it's a massive injury at an age where, yeah, it's not that easy to return. Your top self again. Judging by the reactions, no one else noticed that.
I didn't, but I wouldn't.
His twisting and turning was sensational yesterday, and I think that's where the knee is more into it.
I didn't see enough of it. If I'm honest. I mean, if we look at Jesus last year and Jesus this year, I think that the twists and turns and the rolls off the defender were he was doing that 2-3 times a game.
He's
I
not
think
last year's Jesus. He's not.
No, he's not. He's not.
But I haven't lost hope. I get what you're saying. I need to see more.
Yeah.
I'll look more. I'm going to pay attention to a bit more now as well, Turkish. But my concern has always been that Jesus, even at his best, is he good enough to lead us to a title? That's been my question. Even at his best, is he good enough to kind of do a job for us? I'm not saying that he's not, but it's been the question I've had about him throughout this whole process.
And Ivan Toney's come back with a bang, so those rumours are still very much rife. But no point discussing because I don't think Arsenal are doing any business. In fact, I'm 99.
Can I get a hands up if you'd take him this summer, Ivan Toney?
This summer?
Yeah. Am I the only one? I would.
I'm half.
I like him.
I'm half up. Like, I'll take him, but I want a Pender. I do want a Pender, but I'll take Toney.
Big striker. I am.
The age is a bit of a concern with me with him. That's the only thing.
27. Well, maybe he's just turning 28, to be fair. I think. I am. Listen, I'm not trying to start a whole Toney discussion, but just forgetting the whole discussion around his big comeback and everything that's been covered in lots of different ways. Just Ivan Toney, the player. Forget the media talk. I want to stay at Brentford. I want to leave Brentford. All that. Ivan Toney, the player, I think is exactly what we need.
Agreed.
Just a totally different profile. Really good build-up play. Really good range of pass. Drops deep, crosses into the box, gets on the end of things. Powerhouse. And you know what? I think Forest have written to the PGMOL about it, but his scraping the foam and moving the ball after he's put the foam back down. Guys, this Arsenal squad needs a bit of that. I think, Jordan, you were talking about us needing the word, or whatever word you used.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm all in. I've got to see how these next 5 months go. But now, I'm all in on Toney.
I think the Ivan Toney we see on the pitch, I agree with you, is exactly what Arsenal need. But you said separate it from all the kind of nonsense around him. But that's the problem for me. I'm not so sure if Ivan Toney has the elite mentality. He talks too much. I don't think he's fully been taken accountability, for the crime, inverted commas, that he committed. So it's all those things which I think when you go to a top club, it's not just about can you score goals. It's about, do you have the mentality to be at a big club and conduct yourself in a way that a big player at a big club conducts oneself. That's my concern. It's the attitude. I'm not convinced.
I have your concerns, and I mentioned that before. In fact, I mentioned that last January when people were saying Toney potentially. I said attitude. Even that video with the lady and Brentford or shit or whatever. He said things like that. I don't care too much about the betting stuff. Listen, he's probably not that sorry about it. Really, he probably regrets it because of the 8 months. But it is what it is. Like, even though it's a crime or whatever whatever word you used, it's not the worst. He's back now. I do like that he mentions Arsenal and he mentioned them recently in terms of a team that he likes, because it could be very easy for him to mention Chelsea and get the bag. It could be very easy for him to seek that final payday contract. And if you're after that, then I think you're going to mention Chelsea a lot more than you'd mention Arsenal. I think him mentioning Arsenal.
Didn't Mudryk do that though?
Who?
Didn't Mudryk do that though?
Who?
Mudryk.
Yeah, but Mudryk was what's a nice way of saying a whore in the end? I don't know.
It's a nice way of putting it.
I don't know a nice way to put it, but yeah, I've said it anyway. But that's it seems like anyone could please him.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's
I don't think we're going to put something else.
Oh, let me get my thesaurus out.
W. Yeah, promiscuous. I think that's the word I might be looking for.
Sorry, I interrupted your point there, but I was just making the point that other players have mentioned Arsenal before, and it's not worked out well for us.
I'll tell you what with Toney, I'll tell you what I noticed with Toney yesterday. Even though he's the goal scorer, he does drop deep.
He does.
He's not off the shoulder striker that probably we need, but he does come in and play and come and get deep and then get forward, so he's a sort of fits the profile that Arsenal would go for in terms of the way he plays.
Yeah. James, So, hey, James, rein it in, lad. I'm trying to host the show.
Can you say that? Oh, sorry, Lee, you're right. Toney, people are gonna laugh at this, and I'm gonna add the word "light" on the end. He's Harry Kane light. I'm not saying he's anywhere near him as a
No,
goal
he is.
scorer.
He
But
is.
you
He
play
is.
it in a similar way as that role. That's all. I'm not saying he's. I'm not saying he's as good. Tottenham fans, people like to make things go viral out of context. He will play in a similar way. Just move on.
And he's,
Oh.
but Kane's a whore, though.
At least tighten down.
By the way, Harry Kane might have moved to Bayern Munich.
Oh my God, James.
For a free
James.
couple trophies. And they're throwing them all away. And they're adding Kieran Trippier and Eric Dyer. They're trying to get more Tottenham in.
Yeah.
Like to get it sorted. Sorry.
They're trying
Anyway.
to get more Tottenham in. Didn't they listen to Chiellini?
I'll tell you what, I absolutely love it if they don't win it, like, you know what I mean? It'd be absolute heaven, you know what I mean? Like, if they don't.
Someone tweeted that he went for a few tap-in trophies and he might lose out to Granit Xhaka.
Be fantastic, wouldn't it? Listen, they shouldn't have won the league last year, Bayern Munich.
They shouldn't.
Threw it away.
Yeah, Dortmund fluffed their lines.
Yeah, they fluffed their lines massively. But
listen, lads, I wanna have a quick discussion about the next 10 minutes or so. But before I do, people, while we have that discussion, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, notification bell on, all of that lovely stuff. And the discussion briefly is: should we save the Forest predictions and talk for later on this week, or should we get them in now?
I think we get predictions in. I think it's too early to preview. Like we normally would. We don't. It's a good 10 days away. So I'm up for getting in some
Predicting.
Yeah, well, what do they call placeholder predictions? And if there's a chance at another show, if everyone really wants it, we'll make it happen and we'll give everyone a chance to revise them.
But because Forest have an FA Cup tie Friday night, I believe. They're still in the FA Cup. You know what? You're right. Let's make our predictions. There's not much to. There's two questions I want to ask from now. 9 days ahead of the game. Who starts on the left against Nottingham Forest? Jordan, Martinelli, or Trossard?
Oh, Trossard.
Lee?
yeah, Trossard, because I'm going to say it now. I thought he played very, very well on Saturday, so I'll go Trossard and then Martinelli doing what he done for the last 20 minutes. But long term, Martinelli comes back, probably against Liverpool. But for me, Trossard in this game as well, yeah.
James?
Martinelli on the left. I start Trossard false 9. I'm still on that.
Ooh.
I'm happy to pull Jesus out for this. It's fine.
Fair. ESR or Havertz? Jordan?
Neither.
So who's your 8? Well, is your thing the Jorginho?
Either Jorginho or, and I'm not his biggest fan, is Vieira fit?
No,
but he should be back soon.
Declan Rice could be out, by the way. And also, I am today that Thomas Partey's had a setback.
I don't think that was true. I saw that. I don't think that was true. That was an account that I'm not. Well, listen, I might be wrong. Apologies to that account if I am.
If you're forcing me, Turkish, of the two.
No, I'll change it to Havertz, Jorginho, or Emil Smith-Rowe.
Definitely Jorginho then. Yeah,
Jorginho. Lee?
I'm going Jorginho for this game because we're away from home.
James?
Yeah, Jorginho. If it's a straight shootout between Smith-Rowe and Havertz, it's Smith-Rowe.
Fair. I think, judging from what happened against Palace, I think that's the two questions to ask about the Forest game, even though it's still a while away. Not much more to discuss now about it. We might come again before the Forest game, but we might not. Let me bring up the prediction table now. Not much change. There was a point to James, a point to me, and a point to Lee. Jordan obviously predicted 0-0, so he didn't get a point. So this is how it stands. James top, 24 points. I'm in second, 22 points. Lee's in third, 19 points. And Jordan's in fourth, 18 points. So prediction time. James, Forest away.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0. I'm going 3-1. Lee.
Surprise. Hey? That's your dialing when you dial out, isn't it? Like, oh, well, we call Turkish 3-1. I'm
What do
going
you
to go.
want?
I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to stick with me 2-0. I think it'd be a tight, tough game for us.
2-0. Jordan.
1-1.
1-0. So Lee's gone 2-0. James has gone 1-0. I've gone 3-1, and Jordan's gone 1-1. Obviously, let us know your predictions in the comment section below, people. There's the table, and now it's gone. We move. Comment of the day to wrap it up. Anyone want to go first, or?
I'll go first. I'm happy to go first because considering I was a watcher.
Well, it's good of you to have looked for them anyway.
Yeah. Just proves how important he is when he's not even there. And his message to Turkish on the predictions got the best laughs. Big up Curtis, standing in. Love Curtis watch-alongs. Well done, lads from Australia. I do like the Aussies, apart from one.
One?
Yeah.
Tottenham manager.
Oh. You know,
Well,
I had
I'll
that
come
comment
in
here as well.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I just said I had that comment as well, Lee. So I'm just deleting.
Oh,
it.
right.
How did you? Thank you very much, Turkish. Like, that's saying,
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little bit of a Jordan. I didn't think they were great. I didn't think it was a great. And that doesn't mean I don't love you all. You're all an amazing audience. Well, listen, I didn't call them crap. Like I haven't sat here and gone the comments are crap. They just it was a 5 out of 10 performance. But I just want to shout out Rob Wood 8331, who had my back a lot in the comments. One, because he posts, James is excellent too. You all are. Brilliant show, guys. So thank you, Rob. It's very kind. And then someone else, Daniel Mugo, said, James is like a school teacher. He is so serious and into detail.
I saw that.
To which Rob
I got that as well.
which Rob was straight in the comments at my defense. I said, I like him though. Rob, thank you he's been really championing me in the last episode. Givet, hope I pronounced that right, then replied, details are so boring, it's more fun to be emotional and thoughtless. So, I mean, just shout out to Rob, really, who just had my back in the comments.
Shout out to Rob.
Good old Rob. Good old Rob.
He went more than out of his way to have my back. So, Rob, I'm very grateful.
Maybe that's not all he wants, old Rob. Like, you know what I mean?
You silly.
James.
I'll move on. I'll move on.
He's just a fan of my content.
He didn't know what to say.
Rob, the old extra.
I'll wrap it up. I got a comment from someone. I've forgotten the name because I'm on the phone, so I can't swipe it. But the comment I'm paraphrasing was here: Jordan saying that KDB could be the heir or could replace Henry as the best Premier League player. Read the room. Now, I want to be very, very clear. I'm not the kind of Arsenal fan that's biased. I'm never going to be biased. So I'm going to say what I think. And if I genuinely have an opinion that's negative towards Arsenal, I'm still going to give it. So I just want that person to know I put forward a theory, a question, a debate, a topic, if you like. And just because we as Arsenal fans love Thierry Henry, if the next man I think could be better than him, I'm not going to not say that just because Thierry's my guy. Do you know what I mean? So just want fans to know that I'm not that biased fan that's going to lean one way or another. I'm going to just say it as it is. So I just want to let him know I'm not the guy, bro. I'm not the guy that's going to be biased and Thierry Henry is the greatest of all time. Forever. No. Not
Where's
me.
your earphones and all that from last week? You look very professional like the other one.
Yeah. I've got a new setup. at home, mate.
Yeah, well, where is it this week then? Why ain't you got it now?
I'm not at home. I'm at my girlfriend's dad's house.
Oh, you got your girlfriend. All right, okay.
So I'm back on the phone.
Bag and didn't take your essentials with you, your earphones.
I'm not carrying that stuff. Understood that.
Bias aside,
you look very professional. That's the first time you look very professional.
Oh, thank you very much, Lee. Thank you very much.
Bias aside, it was still a very wild thing to say, though.
Do you think it was?
Yeah, bro. Henry's an icon. Like De Bruyne's not an icon. There's levels to this, man.
No,
Henry is like
but what I said was, I said that he's
R9 is the best striker, but people compare Henry to R9 and that era of striker, like De Bruyne.
no,
De
I'm
Bruyne.
so, what I was saying was,
I don't think he could even live in that era. He'd be a top player.
That's a different discussion. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I thought it was a masterclass he produced at Newcastle. I've got to say, like they was
and it's 8 years. Anyway, the point I was making, it was a question. It was, is he the genuine first contender to the throne? That was it. I wasn't saying that he was better than Henry. I was just saying I think he's the first contender to that crown. That was it. Is that a wild question to ask?
Yes.
No,
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it's wild.
I think it is.
James?
Never crossed my mind that he was getting to Henry levels, but I don't know. No, but he won't get there for me. So whether you think it's wild or not, I just don't think he will. Personally.
Yeah. Let me get mine in now. And mine's from Rafs. And his one says, Curtis coming in for Jordan. Quote, what an upgrade. I love this, man. Yeah. Curtis coming in for Lee. Quote, Bergkamp is injured, but don't worry. Thierry Henry is back in. I like that one.
That's good. Oh,
that's rude.
Very rude but fair. Rude but fair.
I think it's all right. Any last minute thoughts, James, Lee, and most importantly, Jordan, before you go like that? And then
No, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done.
Final words. Big up to the players. Needed that win.
Yeah. Good win.
Big up to and just honestly, I'm going to say it's just in a line. David Raya, apart from one loose kick that went sort of to one of their attackers, I thought he was really good, and I was calling for him not to play. So got that very wrong. He was great.
Also, vote for us.
Where is this awards anyway? Like,
I don't know.
It'd be nice if we get an invite to it. You know,
I'm not
we
sure
don't even know. It might be finished. That link might be done in the chat, in the description. Well, this Golden Globes, are they voting for 3 months in advance?
August 2026. Don't forget to vote for us.
Award-winning show. That's what we want to have.
Trust me.
The podcast has been discontinued for 3 years. Don't forget to vote, by the way.
We're the only ones that turn up.
What are we voting for? I know.
3 of us will be on time and 1 will be late.
Ooh. What they'll do is they'll get Turkish via video link. You know, people are like too cool to turn up to the actual event. They video link them in. I'll be Turkish. I'm sorry, I can't be that guy. They
normally have a good reason. Oh, so we've had to video in Hugh Grant because he's away doing this amazing charitable whatever. Instead, it's Turkish missed his alarm. So he sent a video in thanking everyone for their support.
Should I making the time and effort to turn up, but obviously I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Can I give you an example? Can I give you an example of how good a man I am and how fair I am? I want to give you an example.
Cool.
Lee was moaning about a point docked last week. You know, Lee was 1 hour late for the show. 1 hour, and 1 hour means 3 points.
It does.
Because I'm a nice guy. I'm a good man. I just said 1.
Right, I'm not having that. I wasn't late for the show. I had technical bloody issues. You know what I mean?
Well, you was bare chested in the middle of Thailand. That's not technical issues.
Could I got stuck in the Thailand traffic, and then I didn't
How's that technical issues, though? So if I run in the street and say I'm stuck in the middle of London, is that technical issues?
Well, no, I was there.
Lee, I want to back you. Lee, but Turkish is right on this one.
What are you saying? Should I take the 2 extra points?
I've got a minute. And then, I've got to say this in my defence. They're putting in another different link of a different thing. You know what I mean? Whatever it's called. And then this week, like, we're back on the normal one. Like, make up your mind. We're, what are we on? What platform are we on? Platform 1 or platform 2?
The thing is,
we ended up going to Cambridge or Liverpool Street. I want to know
what you're talking about. What you're talking about with the various links is maximum 2 seconds of work. But because you type in all your links. That is an extra. That's 15 minutes grafting for you.
Well, I don't know how. No one else has told me how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
You just copy and paste.
Copy and paste. I'm lucky. What am I? A decorator? I ain't no decorator. I don't get no ladders.
People, listen, we're gonna round it off here. Hopefully you've enjoyed. It's an hour 15 minutes of overtime. We've done our predictions for Forest. We've analysed the game against Palace. We will be back either for a mini special before Forest or most likely after Forest now that we've done our predictions. Big up James. Make sure you follow up his channel, subscribe to his channel. Make sure you follow up Lead Judges channel as well. If you search James Bayliss, if you search Lead Judges, and if you search Just for Clicks, am I right there, Jordan?
Not for clicks. Close. Not for clicks. When new.
It's for Twitch.
Just for clicks, not. You know why I fucked it? Because some of the comments, yeah, no clicks, not for clicks, just for clicks. Oh, bro.
Jesus Christ. No clicks.
People, not for clicks. Make sure you click that. It's in the description below. Show some love all around. We will be back when we're back. Love for the love. Make sure you subscribe. Peace. We're out.